Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a special No Holds Barred morning edition wrestling podcast at the Crown Jewel Post Show. I'm here, of course, with my tag team partner, Josh Kimmel. Josh, what's up, my brother? Good morning to you, my man.
Good morning, man. These Aussies are very loud so early in the morning. They just love to sing. They wake up and sing, I guess. I understand the time zones. I get it. But what a way to wake up. I know I was texting you probably 5 a.m. your time,
Yeah.
complaining about why can't I not get this ESPN app to work? But I calmed down. I asked my wife for the passwords. She gave me the passwords. I got logged in. We got
I'm glad.
ESPN Unlimited now.
I'm glad you figured it out. It was the same with me when I had to figure it out. My wife was the one who finally did it, and she got it working. So that's why wives are great. Shout out to the wives, for figuring out that little stuff for us. Doctors, health insurance, life insurance. WWE PLEs when we have to figure that out when TV just screws us up. Justin Toner, good morning, sir. Great to see you. Zach, as always, great to see you in here. This time you're early, so I appreciate you coming at the beginning of the show, not towards the end. With our National Sausage Pizza Day. Yep. Interesting. I mean, you know it all, my man. You know it all. But yes, welcome to everybody just joining in, tuning in, wherever you're watching from, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, X, YouTube. We appreciate you tuning in. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, either now or after the show, come on over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. We got great content here on FTSN and awesome wrestling content, of course, with No Holds Barred Wrestling and, of course, Real Talk Wrestling with Josh, Chris, and Clutch. So we're here to talk about Crown Jewel. We had to wake up early. That tells you how committed we are. We got up, and again, like you said, you were texting me at 5 a.m, pissed off. Well, 6 a.m. for you, pissed off. Like, why is this so hard to get in? And I actually had my wife make sure everything was logged in last night. I was like, can you make sure everybody? She's like, it's already done. Just go into Disney Plus. It's there. I was like, okay. So I had it set up. My daughter made sure I had my alarm set, but my daughter came in. She wakes up extra early. So she actually woke me up this morning. I was like, all right, cool. I'm getting up now. And so, I'll tell you what, I told you this, and we'll go match by match. I'm going to tell you, man, I texted you this when you told me that you caught up with the show because you had things to do. And you're like, hey, man, if we have to start, it was like, cool. But you said you caught up. And I was like, I just straight up admitted to you. I say, this has been a fun show. This has been a great show so far. I really enjoyed it. And the show's over. And I still will say, this totally blew WrestlePalooza out of the water. This was a freaking show. A match by match was awesome. We'll go match by match. But yeah, man, your initial thoughts on Crown Jewel.
So I'm like, wow, they handed everybody a yellow t-shirt today. No, they just sold 32,000 or whatever the attendance was, John Cena shirts. That was cool. I like to see that. When everyone's got the same, like, it felt like a sporting event. Think about it. When you watch the Chiefs or you watch the Dolphins, everyone's wearing the same color. Like, everybody was there for WWE, but mainly John Cena. So it was cool to see that. Like, it's a different atmosphere because wrestling's so spread out. You got everyone's a fan of whoever, but when John Cena goes to your country for the first and for the last time, you have to buy the John Cena shirt. So that was cool to see the visual effects. I never had a wrestling show make me, and I'm not afraid to admit this, cry mid-show.
Oh,
never in my life until today. So that was cool. We'll talk about that moment when we get to the John Cena match.
I love that.
But wow, it was such a great show. And if what Justin Toner is saying is true, then I have to go back and rewatch a match because I couldn't do it all, guys. I couldn't do it all. And we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, it was an overall A show. Could have been an A+. I didn't see one match.
Oh,
I'll tell you why. We'll get there.
Okay. All right. Well, again, everything you said you talk about the emotional part of it. I'd say that to my kids. I mean, I go, you're watching right now, and we've seen this match before, and this is why we'll get to Cena more in the AJ Styles match. But I just want to say a preference of that match, and I was telling my kids, first off, you're looking at the legend of WWE and the legend of TNA, the face of WWE and the face of TNA going at it. We've seen this match before, but man, that was something else. But anyway, I really did enjoy the show. and I'm really looking forward to talk about it, and we could get right into it. And it starts off, of course, with a big one. Bronson Reed taking on Roman Reigns in the Australian street fight. And of course you hear Australian street fight, you're kind of like, all right. But I get it. You're in Perth. You got to ode to the fans. But first off, America. I'm watching Billions right now, so I have to say it like that, like Paul Giamatti. America. I mean, if you're watching this PLE and you're planning on attending PLEs going forward, take note. I mean, my goodness, every WWE, we're all pissed off that Saudi Arabia is getting WrestleMania, that supposedly we're pissed off that PLEs are going overseas. I think every time I watch a PLE, whether it's in Puerto Rico, Australia, France, anywhere other than the United States, it's a banger. And why? Well, first off, yeah, the wrestlers are putting on great matches. They're inspired, but guess what makes them inspired? The crowds. The crowds are on fire. It makes it fun to watch on TV. Yep. You're fired up with the fans. Shout out to the fans in Australia, but USA fans, take note. I mean, my goodness, because when I'm telling you, if WrestlePalooza was in Australia, it may have felt like a better show because of the crowd. Because it was in the United States, it was like, but if it was in Australia and they were going nuts, we would have been like, you know what? That's not a C-. That's a C+ show. That was not bad. The crowd was in it, but man, the crowd really fired up for AJ, and it wasn't like that. It was like it for this show. It elevated the matches. It made the matches feel so much more. When you hear "this is awesome" and the crowd is wanka, and I mean chanting this, and unbelievable. So shout out to them. But man, let's roll right into it. The Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns match. Entertaining, heavy hitting. Again, I enjoyed it. Of course, Braun Breaker shows up, lays out Roman. Here comes the Usos. And of course, Jay continues unraveling post-match after spearing Roman through the table. Roman is pissed. He's like, this is why I didn't want you guys out here. I love you, but I don't want to see you till Christmas. Probably going to see them at War Games, but said till Christmas. So, he's like, so you see the unraveling, but the main thing here was Bronson Reed coming out on top. And somebody asked online, one of the wrestling sites on X said, was it the right decision? Before I answer, I'm going to let you answer. You first give your thoughts on that match, and then was it the right decision for Bronson Reed to go over on Roman Reigns?
Okay, so the match was what it was. It was a lot of teasing of furniture. It wasn't too much violence with it. It was just enough to get the match over as a street fight. That's what I liked about the match. You didn't have table spot after kendo sticks. It was mixed in between a lot of wrestling and storytelling, so that was cool. Did it go too long? I think the match went a little too long, but I understand why. They did it. They milked it. They want to build Bronson Reed up as a star. And to build him up as a star, you have to have him win against top guys. You can't be a top guy in a top stable if you're going to continue to lose to someone like a top star like Roman Reigns. I think this was the right move. He's what do they call him? The Australian, whatever they call him. He's from there. You have to put him over. I thought he was going to win this match. I can't believe people thought he was going to lose. I went into this match going, they made it a street fight so he can lose. Roman Reigns told his cousins to not interfere so they can interfere and cause him to lose. It's all set up for Roman to lose, which is fine. This doesn't hurt Roman. Roman's bulletproof. This was caused by Jey Uso, a mistake, and Braun Breaker, which could set up another match with Braun Breaker and Roman down the line. So this was perfect. I didn't see any discourse, although I didn't go on social media whatsoever. Literally straight from the show, I sat here and told you I'm ready. So I hadn't seen any reactions yet, but this was the right call. This is how you make stars, people. Look, our stars, our superstars, Randy Orton, they're getting older. We need to start building some people up, right? This was the right call. I'll say you, Bobby.
It absolutely was the right call. This is, everybody's saying, man, John Cena needs to go against younger guys to put him over while he leaves and blah, 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 blah. False. There are guys, again, I still think Dominic will have that match with John Cena. He should. Well, maybe Gunther comes back. He should. And then yeah, okay, there's your going over part. But Roman Reigns is here. It's not hurting him at all. And this is just continuing. This builds the story of the Vision versus the family, the bloodline. This continues that story. Bronson Reed, Maria and I, and shout out to Maria here in the comments, and she's right. I hear what she's saying. But shout out to Maria. But, me and Maria have fun going back and forth about Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker should be the guy who faces John Cena and retires him and everything else. And I'm like, not ready yet. But Bronson Reed is on the cusp. He's right there. Everybody talks about Braun Breaker, and I think Braun Breaker, he has it all. He has the mic skills like his uncle, the in-ring skills like his uncle and his dad. He has everything you want, but he's not at the level yet to be on his own and lead out. Bronson Reed, again, he is truly benefiting from having Paul Heyman. Those two guys, I think you can take Seth Rollins out of the equation, and Paul Heyman with those two guys would be enough. I really do think. I really believe that. I don't think they need Seth Rollins. But Bronson Reed needed this. And look, he doesn't need Seth Rollins. He beat Seth Rollins. He destroyed Seth Rollins. He destroyed Braun Strowman. Now he defeated Roman Reigns. This guy is this only elevates him to a real, and he is. It's not like, oh, he's just some big guy, dude. He's not that good. He's not a good wrestler. He's not believable. No, he's believable. He's believable. And so, do I think this was the right decision? Absolutely, because Roman's still going to be here. Roman's going to get his win back. Roman still looks strong.
Yep. This
is not some just gimme. This was perfect. So I think this does well for Bronson Reed. I'm excited. I'm a huge fan of Bronson Reed and his future. Same as I am with Braun Breaker. I'm a huge fan of Bronson Reed, and I think he is, like Paul Heyman said in that show, they are the future of the business. They are the future of WWE if everything goes right. And Raw and SmackDown, they could do it. The future heels of this business. And yeah, absolutely, Bronson Reed deserved it.
Yeah, and again,
Bronson also beat Okada in New Japan. Yeah.
Big stars need to be beat by up and comers. And what is the point of saying you're going to push somebody to the moon by having Paul Heyman behind them and have them constantly lose? They become Wheeler Yuta. They become losers. They become, who's that one kid? Austin Theory. Losers.
Well,
they lose all the time. They're losers.
I'm glad you brought up, because again, we have this debate with John Cena. Should John Cena put over young guys? He's been putting over young guys until his retirement tour, but he has been putting over young guys. He put over Austin Theory. He put over Solo Sikoa. What did that do for them in the immediate aftermath? Nothing. It did nothing for them. It really depends on what WWE does with these guys. It depends on the star itself too. What did they do with it? That's why, like, Braun Breaker has still some growing up to do. Bronson Reed, he got his win. He's gonna, to me, I think he's ready to make that, because he has some big wins on his career already with real superstars. So he's on that cusp. And it's right. It's all about the booking afterwards. Yep. So we go, oh, this guy has to go over. Yeah, but what's gonna happen after that? We crap on the big time superstars, the legends, the Bret Harts, the Austins. No, let's go. Austin, Reigns, Cena, Hogan. You go to them, you go, hey, I want you to lose like John Cena. Maybe he's a little too nice. So let's go with more like Austin and Hogan, those guys who protected their spots. Hogan is famous for that and gets knocked for it. But, hey, you're going to lose to Billy Kidman. What? You're losing to Billy Kidman at Bash at the Beach. Okay. What happens after? Nothing. You're just putting a young guy over. Yeah, but what's the story? What's the point? There has to be a follow-up to that. Austin Theory and Solo Sikoa. Now, Solo Sikoa has moved past that, and shout out to Solo, but Austin Theory did not. He just fell off a total cliff because booking sucked. There has to be a follow-up. Bronson Reed has that follow-up. Bronson Reed is still in this story. Him winning today continues that story for Roman Reigns and him and the Vision and the Bloodline going into possibly War Games. I loved it. And I'm a huge fan of Bronson Reed.
Imagine this, slow play where, let's say, Braun Breaker is next in line to get a win over Roman. And then we finally get the WrestleMania match, Roman versus Seth, and Seth loses. Now both of your members of the Vision can say, I beat Roman, you did not. And Bronson can say, hey, Seth, I'm the one who put you out. Remember, like, who's the real leader of this group? And that can start adding discourse. So yeah, all this is going to add to the bigger picture. So I'm excited for it. I'm curious more of the Jay side. What's going to happen over there? Can't see Jay turning full heel. I don't know how this is
that
going
is
to
a
work.
very I don't know where that's going. That's what's intriguing about it. Like, there's no clear, like, does he totally give up you see the frustrations with his brother. You see Roman kind of turning into the old Roman again, on Raw. And you kind of, so it's very intriguing to me to see where they're going to go with that. And Jay's doing a great job. Jay is usually pretty good at, or pretty bad at keeping a straight face, which is what's fun about him. But he's been really good at looking miserable right now. And so, yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what goes on with Jey Uso, and especially following this. Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. The first match was awesome. Yeah, you want to follow up with the next one?
What was the next match, man? That seems like hours ago. I can't remember what I had for breakfast. Yes, I can, because that's going to come into the story soon. Wasn't it the Tiffy match? Tiffy and Steffi, right? That was the match number 2. I believe that followed it.
I believe so. I think so. It wasn't John Cena and AJ. AJ was, I think they were the third match, right?
That was in the middle. Yeah, it was right in the middle of the show.
Yeah, so Tiffany Stratton versus Steffi Vicker. Yeah, man, get into it.
Yes, so this match was kind of okay. Before everyone gets on my case, like, what's the story? It's hard for me to watch a match with a story without a story, right? It's an AEW match, right? And it's fine. It is what it is. They did a good job. They both got their moves in. They both got whatever they needed to get in. Interesting, they put Stephanie over. Now, this to me, and I had gripes about her winning the title. This was my whole thing, is what is next? Because now they had a full month to book her versus Tiffy with no story, because there was no story needed. It was just champion versus champion. Who's the massive heel on Raw next? She won this big title. She got this huge moment with Triple H. Like, they looked like they were about to get married. Like, this is Triple H's greatest creation of all time. It's like she is the Undertaker version. She's the Undertaker now. She is. Like, that's how Triple H is perceiving her, which is, I don't get it. I love her. She's a great wrestler, but what story is she going to be able to tell? What is next? Because there's been nothing I've seen on Raw to progress any stories or any conflict with any woman in the back. Is it going to be constant championship, open challenges? Or what I need to know, because there's no woman on Raw right now that I am interested in, or that is freed up, that can wrestle Stephanie and have a meaningful story. She's got the ring. She's got this massive belt. She's got the Raw Women's Championship, but she has no rivals. And the same can almost be said for Tiffy over there. So I don't know what's happening. The match was great, by the way. The match was great. It is what it was. The finisher is that's gonna hurt somebody one day, but it looks so good. That corkscrew back.
Yeah. I think it wasn't my son. I think my daughter was one who said, "Yeah, that looked messed up." You're like, that looked like it hurt, and he's like, "Yeah, it did." Look, I understand that. I do understand where you're coming from. I think because of Crown Jewel, I don't think they put a lot into it in regards of, story. It's like, just let's get through this match, and that's a match within itself, because Tiffany Stratton can go. She's still a little bit raw, no pun intended. She's SmackDown, but she's still a little bit raw. She's not as polished as Stephanie Vicker. Stephanie's great. It's Tiffany Stratton has all the ingredients to be great, and they put on a very, very, very good, entertaining match. And Tiffany has gotten better. She has. I mean, there were times where you're watching her and you're like, I mean, and I know you think of that Nia Jax Tiffy triple threat where, I don't know if you saw that clip. I mean, just count, ref. I put that on the ref. Like, just count. I know it's a hiccup on Nia or whoever, but just make the count. And, but, we look at those things and we go, oh gosh, anything associated with Tiffy looks like that sometimes, but she's gotten better. Her skills has gotten better. Her mic skills have gotten better. This match made her look really good. In regards of where they go from here, I think Tiffy will be fine. I can't see it, I don't want to say that because I like her and I like how she's growing, but I could see her losing the belt soon. I could see that happening on SmackDown. I think there's plenty of talent there that you could drop it and make a story out of that. With Raw, everybody seems to be busy with everybody else, right? You got Becky Lynch, she's the IC champion. Maybe she goes against AJ Lee. Bailey and Valkyra, Asuka and Io Sky with Rhea Ripley. Is it where Liv Morgan shows up? Is that the next thing? Because that would do it. That would save it. How about give Raquel a shot? Let Raquel Rodriguez give her. She doesn't have to win, but give her that spot where she's the heel for now against Stephanie Verker. Put her in that spot. There's opportunity right now for those lower tier. I don't want to say lower tier. They're not lower tier, but for those ones who don't usually get an opportunity, especially when everyone else is busy, that's when you give the shot to someone else. That's when and then when someone frees up, like a Liv Morgan or a Rhea, then you go, okay, now let's get that Stephanie versus Rhea Ripley match. Let's get this one. But right now, in between, give it to a Raquel or a Roxanne or whatever. Let them have that shot. They don't have to win it, but giving them a shot won't hurt. That's where I think they should go right now with Stephanie, at least until someone frees up. Liv Morgan still has a long road to recovery. Stephanie versus Bailey is next. Again, Bailey, I think, is going to turn on Occur, and I think that's the next portion of it. But hey, I'm not against it. But I don't see it. She's kind of intertwined with Lyra and turning Two-Face and all that whatnot. But Raquel Rodriguez, I think, would be the easy answer for now, at least. And I would love to see, because Raquel has gotten so much better. I mean, compared to what she was. I mean, she's, she's, playing like a big man. She is. I mean, I love what she's doing. I love what she's taking the advice of a Kevin Nash. She's actively talking with him. He doesn't even work, and then she's looking the part. So I'd like to see that play out against a Stephanie Verker who would make her look like $1 million. So I agree. I get your point, but I think that would be the good way to go. Next one. Is this the one that made you cry?
The main event of the show. The show could have stopped and we would have all been happy. Honestly. Started out slow, but great introductions. AJ Styles looked genuinely surprised, and I think he was with that introduction. Looked like John Cena wrote it or was involved in it, so that was great. Good moment. I liked what AJ Styles. Okay, this goes against everything I've said in the last 6 months about how AEW has no stories and it's so boring, and how I hate these kind of matches. Not this match, but champion versus champion matches, no stories. It's boring to me. AJ Styles got on the microphone on Raw and said, "This has no story. It's John Cena versus AJ Styles, and it's one more time I could beat up John Cena." Okay, I'm in. You know why? Because it's a nostalgia match for me. AJ Styles is one of my favorites. Obviously, John Cena is the GOAT. This was one of the underrated storylines in John Cena's career that the fans demanded. This is what we wanted, and this was great. Again, started out slow. They started doing like their AJ Styles would do his move, pin him, 1-2, kick out, do his move again, 1-2. So they were playing games with each other, trying to one up each other. That was the story of the match, and it continued. The whole story of the match was two baby faces, two goats of two different organizations or promotions, one-upping each other with moves. Everyone's going to say this was a spot fest. No one's going to hate this match, by the way. But if there was a hater of this match, the hater would be saying, this was just a finisher match, a spot match. No, look deeper. It was a whatever you can do, I can do better. So they're pulling out everyone's finishers that they can possibly have done or studied or had put on them to one-up each other. That's what competitors do. When I'm playing my friends in any sport or any video game or anything, I'm trying to one-up my opponent. Even though they're my friend, I'm trying to one-up them and be better at them at that game or that activity. That's what this was, and it was beautiful. All the tributes, all the moves, busting out TNA moves, busting out everything. It was something that we wouldn't have seen if the old boss was around. We wouldn't have been able to see this. They wouldn't have been able to say the Bullet Club on TV. They wouldn't have been able to do those moves. This was beautiful, man. This was great. And the Bray Wyatt moment, of course, stole the show. That was the first. Chris Koffler did not watch the show. He could not. He doesn't have the ESPN Unlimited, and he's not going to pay for it. But he saw it on Twitter or X. He's like, "Hey, man, this was awesome." Well, I'm like, "Yeah, this was awesome." Like, that's going to be the moment of that match because of the fans and taking the phones out. Nobody told them to do that. They just did it. And that right there, like everyone, it was just a beautiful.
It was a goosebump moment. Goosebump moment.
Beyond 5-star match, not because of the moves, but because of the story they told with
in the
respect
ring
they have for each other. Yes,
the story they told in the ring.
Great.
So, I will say this, because I know because this was one thing with Crown Jewel. These type of shows, you're consistent with this, and I respect it. I get it. No story. What's the story? Why? This is different. This type of match is different because the story is their story. The story they've already had, the feud they've had. One of these things on Instagram that I love, and I want to do shows about this because I think it's just awesome. I was playing it with my son. I was like, okay, yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. It's the Sinister Six thing on TikTok where they do the wrestler and they say, who's their Sinister Six? Which is like their six their six main opponents through their careers or whatever. They have Taker, they got Austin, they got Rock, they got Michaels, they got Hunter, they got John Cena. And that's that AJ Styles and John Cena have that story. They've had the story. Again, the face of TNA, the face of WWE, ruthless aggression, and and they told it in this match. Just seeing him there, AJ Styles, first of all, in his TNA gear. Wow. Like that was, that was like, whoa, me, I'm a nostalgia. I popped, I was like, look at this shit,
Yep.
And then just the match itself, the story they told, like you said, it started slow, but let me tell you something. Let that be a lesson to all those up-and-comers or all those guys think they have to do Spot Fest to put on a good match. Look at what those guys were able to do. Two of the greatest in the ring. Look what they were able to do with, like you said, it's a slow match, right? They were doing submissions. They were doing different types of submission. Look what they were doing, and the crowd was still in it. Now, credit, it wasn't an international crowd. It was Australia. Those guys, they cheer everything, which is awesome. That's why any really international crowd, Australia, Puerto Rico, Japan, wherever, they're loud. They're enjoying them. They're enjoying the match. But again, I'm watching this and I'm going, this is wrestling. Look what they're doing. Look at the story they're telling. Then they got into the spots and they started, and because it was a nostalgia fest, John Cena's paying compliments to his former opponents, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Frank Kazarian got a spot in there where AJ lifted him up and it did the spike in the back, which was great. It was like, you see all these callbacks. And again, like Justin's put it here, two goats putting on a show. They were putting on a show. And man, John Cena, for someone who people say you can't wrestle, which is usually the USA crowds, by the way, he shows he can wrestle. Just give him the opponent. Give him the right guy, and he'll put on a great match. He steps up to the plate when it's an AJ Styles, when it's a Logan Paul, who shout out to Logan Paul. But it was a fun, entertaining match that wasn't just a spot fest. There were spots, and there were a lot of spots. But it was Spot Fest is telling a story. We knew what they were doing. And in that callback to Bray Wyatt, who had such a short stint, that's what's crazy. He had such a short stint in wrestling, but it was such an impactful stint that when John Cena did that, everybody knew what he was doing and they knew exactly what to do. And you can't tell me IRS, his dad at home, and his brother, Bo Dallas, and the family, and his wife and kids who were watching this match, or people at AEW, whatever, were watching that, and they didn't have tears in their eyes, or they didn't get goosebumps. I got goosebumps. I had goosebumps. I was like, holy crap. It's the Fly. Look at that.
Yeah.
That was a moment. And even John Cena had to stop and take that in. And it's like, this dude had such a minuscule, you really think about it, he had such a minuscule career in WWE. He didn't really live up, he couldn't, in that little spit of time, he made that much of an impact. And and even one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time in WWE, which is crazy to say when you think of all the great stars that they've had. Without naming names, we know who they are. John Cena, arguably the greatest of all time. No one else is the 17-time world champion in WWE. Ric Flair was 17 times, really he's more, 17 times in NWA, WCW, one in WWE. One time. They only made him a one-time champion. They made John Cena 17 times. Even he had to stop and go, wow. Even he said, I'm going to pay tribute to this guy. He didn't have to do that. So that was the story. I hope people look at that, up and coming wrestlers who think, oh, I have to just do these flips and all these other things that make big spots to make a match. I hope they look at that and they go, holy crap. That's how you tell a story. That was, I don't know if, I won't criticize anybody who says, oh, it's a 4, it's a 5, it's a whatever. To me, that was an unbelievable match with two legends who stepped up to the plate, who are towards the end of their career. We know John Cena only has 4 dates left. AJ Styles is retiring in 2016 or 2026. He announced yesterday. Those are two guys at the end of the road who showed they could still do it. And showed, hey, I don't care how old we are. You guys want our spots. The only reason why you're going to get our spots is because we're giving them up. Because if we're still here, this is what we can do. This is what you can't do.
I think Bobby.
It should have been the main event. It wasn't. It is what it is. But unbelievable show.
Yeah. It was the main event. I placement to me it does matter in PLEs because, to be completely fair and honest, I don't want to get into the next match just quite yet because I do have a couple things to say about AJ Styles and his shape.
Go for it, man. Take your time, bro.
Best shape of his life. I've never seen him more jacked. When John Cena took that Styles clash, I was afraid because John looked like he tucked his neck a little bit. That was kind of, even Wade Barrett said something about it. That was scary. I didn't see an angle slam, which I expected to from AJ Styles. Didn't see that. We were missing that, unless I missed it, which I don't think I did. I watched the whole match. Would have loved to see an angle slam. Once I saw the Scorpion Deathlock drop, I go up. I know where we're going with this. That's when I knew, because that was the first thing AJ Styles did. I just think John Cena could do this for the next 4 dates and we'd all be happy. But I don't know what's next for John. They already rumored Gunther the very last match at Saturday Night Main Event. If that's true, I can't wait to see it. There better be a story for that one because that one needs it. So hopefully they use these dates to actually build that story rather than just do a cold match, because as much as we love Gunther, he's not AJ Styles, So I hope they at least give us a story for that. That being said, Bobby,
I don't know if there's I'm sorry. I don't know if there's enough time to do a story. I brought it up before when we kind of did what would happen if John Cena was still a face, if he stayed a face, and I said Dominic Mysterio I think should be the one, where at Saturday Night Main Event. It's looking like that may be not that match particularly, but it looks like Dominic Mysterio might be in line to have a match with John Cena, which I think is great. What I heard about what I read about the Gunther's match, how that would happen is that they would probably do a tournament to see who's going to be the number one, who's going to be the guy who faces John Cena, which I think is fine because it's pretty big to go against the GOAT. That's a championship within itself. And he put away, if he is the guy, the question becomes, should he go over on John Cena? And you can make an argument for both sides. Yes and no. I will say, my brother's calling me. They always do that during a show. Yes, because that would only make him even more legitimate. No, because I want to see John Cena with his hands up high at the end of his final match. But we'll see how it goes. Maria, Dom Mysterio has no business being seen as last opponent. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think that's crazy to say. Dominic Mysterio has earned every right to be possibly John Cena's final opponent. He is red hot.
Dom is a main character on the
Yeah.
top wrestling show in the business.
I don't. Yeah, he's not only the main character on the main wrestling. He's the main character in a separate wrestling promotion. I mean, when he's goes on AAA, the crowds go nuts. I mean, he you know, I don't understand how someone could say that. And you know, I don't know. I think I totally disagree saying that has no business. He won't be. It looks like he won't be. He will be one of the last opponents, but he's not. But I don't saying that he has no business. I think you need to double check, because go look at Dominic Mysterio and what he is right now in the wrestling business. He absolutely has every business to be in that conversation.
Gunther has to be, if it is Gunther, he has to win, because we need to see Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. We will see Gunther and Brock Lesnar. And if Gunther can't beat John and Brock destroyed John, then this match makes no sense. There needs to be a reason for Gunther to be strong in Brock Lesnar's eyes, because we've seen Brock Lesnar go, Bray Wyatt situation. I don't want to wrestle this guy. So I'm not saying, just kayfabe, but what I'm saying is Gunther has to go over if that's the situation. Gunther has to. Next match, we had a women's tag team match with the worst storyline heading. Sorry, my opinion, not everyone's. With the worst storyline heading into this PLE. I can't stand what is happening with this whole EO fake cry, Kyrie saying fake being held hostage. I can't stand this whole story whatsoever. I lasted the entrances and I didn't decide this. My kids decided that they were hungry and they wanted breakfast. So you know what your boy did? This was a great break spot. I'm going making sausage and freaking eggs for my kids because they're hungry. And I don't care what happens in this match. Nothing, no result. Zero result could have made me go, I can't wait to see what's next. Zero results. I don't care about the story. But I will say, I'm sure it was awesome. I'm sure they did moves. I'm sure Kyrie Sane beat up somebody and cried about it that she didn't want to do it. And I'm sure the good girls won. I don't know. Who won?
Rhea Ripley won. My kids told me, and I will tell you, I did the same. I had to. I had to use the restroom. I had been sitting on the couch for a while. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be right back. Just keep me posted. By the time I came back, because I was promoting the show and I was doing other things. The kids, the match was over there in commercial. So I was like, oh, what happened? Rhea Ripley won. So I got to go back and watch it. But I will say, prior to that match, there's my bro. There's Nick Voss in there. Nick tuning in. Nick got the mug here, bro. Nick got me this mug while I was in Indianapolis visiting him, performing, killing it over there in Indianapolis, man, at the Beef and Boards Dinner Theater as Elvis Presley. Nick, of course, training to be a wrestler. He was showing me a lot of his stuff. He was wrestling with Tristan there. No, Maria, wait. Look, he had a choice. I had to go. When you got to go, you got to go. I had to go to the bathroom. So, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start this off by saying, prior to the match, I was telling my kids, listen, Io Sky might be the best. You were just bringing up Stephanie McGirt. Io Sky might be the best pound-to-pound wrestler in WWE. Her and Rhea Ripley have been killing it. And, you think of, I love Asuka's heel run. I love Asuka as a heel. She's perfect. She's awesome. I love it. I do want to see the story end. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to see the story in regards of Io and Rhea. I want to see Rhea do something else. I love their matches. Anytime you put them together, let's do it. Let's go. But the match itself, the story itself, it's like, okay, kill me already. It's over. So, yes, at that time, I was like, you know what? When I'm watching a John Cena AJ match, I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm going to watch this match. I don't care if I got to go. I will go when I'm done. And then, I was like, okay, now I could go. That's it. No disrespect intended. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect intended. But,
I mean, we got kids. Everybody, they got to eat. Like, let me be clear. I'm sure it was a banger match. I'm sure it was awesome, but I'm going to be sure. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's just not interesting to me. It's not interesting. We're just sitting here complaining about Stephanie and Tiffy not having any real people. Then we have two megastars in a tag team against the Kabuki Warriors, who in the end of the day mean nothing. At the end of the day, they mean nothing, which not to their fault. They're excellent wrestlers. They are. It's just booking. It's booking them. Kyrie looks ridiculous. Every time I see Kyrie on the screen, it's ridiculous. She's just the fake crying, it's ridiculous looking. And I don't, if I wanted to see that, I go watch indie wrestling, man. Serious. No disrespect. All right. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins had a match.
So, no disrespect. I didn't like it. I hated him. I know.
No disrespect. If you put Asuka in a match with Stephanie Vakir, let's go. Right. If we see a heel Asuka with Stephanie Vakir, let's freaking go. That's going to be a great match. That's going to be a great story. If you put Rhea or Io, I'm not going to say Kyrie, but if you put any of those three women in a singles match, I'm interested. I'm not interested in this. Okay.
So is it Kyrie? Is it Kyrie Sane? Is that who you don't like? Is like why is she involved in this?
Yeah, why? It's just a whole like I'm being held hostage, but I'm still gonna beat her up, and then I'm gonna cry afterwards. Like that's cool the first time, but now you've committed to being bad. Like you've committed. Like I'm tired of the story. But
I would just say, I'm sorry. I just want to say,
I want to rewind.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can I rewind?
Yes.
Great Walls of Jericho by John Cena. Great 100%. Walls of Jericho by John Cena. All right, can we get to the Cody match? This match
I just want to say very quick, a little defense of Kyrie Sane. It's a little hard. First off, heel Asuka is amazing. I agree with that. I think she's great. I love her character right now. Kyrie Sane, I like it. She's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. I like that she's kind of locked the hip with Asuka, and she has to basically do her bidding. I'm a little more annoyed because I will join you on one thing. I'm a little more not annoyed, but kind of like when Io Sky cries, when she's it's like it's not believable to me. But I like the idea of someone caught between a rock and a hard place. I do. It's like but here's the issue. Again, I'll go back to that line. Where does it go from here? What's Kyrie Sane's story after this? Is she going to be only known as the second fiddle, or is she going to come up and attack Asuka and they're going to have an epic run? What's the next part of this story? Because we know Asuka and Io Sky have a match. We know those two are going to kill it. But what has happened to Sane? Because Sane is no slouch. Kyrie Sane is good, right? Can we agree to that? She's not bad. She's decent, right? She's good. No, I thought she was, but that's my only criticism is where does it go from here? Well, like Maria says, wasn't Jay always crying during the Bloodline story over Sami Zayn? First, he hated Sami Zayn. Then he believed in Sami Zayn, and it kind of turned on him. The story, we knew where it was going. There's a story to that. What happened with all of them afterwards? Jey Uso became main event Jey Uso. Sami Zayn went on his own, did his thing. Roman Reigns lost everybody. It was really Jimmy Uso who got left with nothing. So, and Solo made his bloodline. So, but that's the thing. They had all stories after. I don't think there's a story for each of these four people. Maybe for three of them, all that Josh named, but Kyrie Sane, I don't know, has a story after this.
And I want to be clear. I said Asuka, if she had a singles match as a heel, I'm in. If they went straight from if Asuka came out looking strong, which I thought should have happened, if you're going to build up a new heel, should have whatever. Build her up to go against Stephanie Vakir because you don't have any other heels. That would have been a cool one-off. Oh, heel Asuka, she got a big win on Io. Now she's next in line. But now again, they have Rhea win. Now what? Rhea wins. Okay, cool. What now? What do we do? Hopefully the story's over. That's it. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, this story will never end, and I don't think we want it to end. And he did it on his own, like he said he was going to do, even though he did use a Rolex watch, which I feel like if I got punched in the face with a Rolex watch, it would hurt a little bit, like
I 1% said the same more. Thing. Yeah, I told my kids, I said, get her watch right now and punch me in the face and let's see what goes down. I want to, yeah, okay, good.
But I get it. But it's wrestling. I get it. It's wrestling. This was a match of Seth being so desperate and getting one-upped at each and every turn, right? So Seth was just trying to find a way to win this match because if not, he lost everything. And this was a professional wrestling match that kept my attention throughout, and there was nothing crazy, right? They had to stop off the top rope. They had the crossroads off the top. Everything was pretty well done, no botches. Just a really crisp, great match. Seth needed this win. He got the win, dirty, but still got the win, huge win. So No complaints here. I love that. I love the celebration afterwards. You know, we've done that. We've been here before because they have. Grabs the, gets the ring from Triple H, celebrates like a heel. This was everything we needed, man. This was perfectly told by Triple H and the guys in the ring. Do you have any gripes about this match?
No. Well, I have the one you brought up, which again, I agree with Justin. The watch was great storytelling. I get it. My thing was just that, but he did the curb stomp after. So it's my thing was, come on, you really get it knocked out by a watch. I could have gone, oh, damn, dude. Like, but like acting, oh, I'm knocked out. It's like, no, you're not. But that's one. And then the super crossroads off the top to me was that's like, if you're going to do that, that should be a finish, not I'm going to kick out. That's just me. But other than that, no, the match was great. And Seth winning was the right decision. I told my kids, I said, look, I don't see Cody Rhodes winning. Seth has to win. And the reason why he has to win is because they've been teasing that he's going to lose and what's going to happen with the Vision if he loses. You heard Paul Heyman, he goes, hey, they go, well, what Braun Breaker goes, what happens if he loses? And Paul Heyman goes, you know what happens, basically, So it's like, oh, that's interesting. So Paul Heyman said, do not help him. He needs to do this on his own. And he did. Now he did cheat. So we'll see how that impacts that story. This was the right move. And I did not expect any botches. And if there was, they were going to save it. Those two are the ultimate professionals. Again, we talked about two GOATs in John Cena and AJ Styles. These two are two of the greatest right now in the business, arguably, going at it, and they put on an epic match. It was a good match. It was a fun match. It was awesome storytelling. And it was the right decision to have Seth win. You couldn't have Cody win twice in a row with that over the top title. I mean, my goodness. Don't tell Botchamania that. I know they'll probably find something. Did they find something, Kevin? But I thought it's better than Truth knocking out folks with bottles of water. Remember that? It's true, but that's wrestling. I agree with Justin. That's wrestling, it's wrestling. It's fun. I get that. It's just my thing was, come on. Like, I understand going, oh, God, and then curb stop 1, 2, 3. But other than that, no, I have no issue with it. It was a good match. Again, it had to be like this because Cody's story is separate from this. He's going to do something else. He'll be off, whatever. He's going to face the number one contender of Drew McIntyre and Fatu. Seth Rollins' story is still not only CM Punk, not only Roman Reigns eventually, it's the Vision, the cracks of the Vision. Where's it going to go from here? Now he won, which is great because now they have no reason to break up, but he did cheat. How does that continue the story? Does Paul Heyman say, hey, not like this, and how does this go? Where does this go from here in regards of War Games? Supposedly there's the War Games and that's Vision's going to be involved. And we already predicted, or I predicted that the team for the Vision in War Games. And it looks like that might be the case. How does Brock Lesnar, if that is the case, how does Brock Lesnar get involved in this story? How is it where Paul is, Seth goes, who are you going to get? Who's going to be the leader of it? And Paul Heyman goes, could be him. And Brock is, you know what I mean? That's intriguing to me. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I'll let you respond and we'll get to some of the comments.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you that. Are you surprised we didn't get Brock today? Because I thought maybe that's a possibility for Seth to get a win, as Seth gets knocked down. Cody's about to try and maybe help up the ref. Hey, get up, ref, count me. And then Brock comes out. Boom. F5s, leaves. Seth doesn't even know. 1, 2, 3, and Seth wins with Brock Lesnar. Like, that could have been a possibility. I'm surprised I didn't pull that card to lead into it, which I guess that's too spoon-fed. I guess we need Seth to get back on top of the world, cocky, like we're gonna see on Raw him celebrating cocky Seth. No, we're not gonna see the next night on Raw him disgruntled or deranged or putting his best Tony Khan face on. Like, I'm confused, what's going on? Like, he's gonna be cocky, arrogant, and I'm the top of the world, baby. And Brock's probably going to be the one to put him back down because that's the story. The story is with them, Paul Heyman searching for the right guy to lead. This is why I picked you. You were the right guy. Don't let us down. So Seth's going to be arrogant, but still looking behind his back when Brock does get put into this place. So it's going to happen. He's going to be on War Games.
Yeah. I'll say this for Brock Lesnar. Did I expect him? Not in the Seth match. I expected him with the Roman match. That if he was going to show up, I thought it would be in that match there because of Jay and Jimmy. I think that would have been like, once it was a 3-on-2 and it looks like they got the upper hand, that's when Brock would show up. Leave Tony Khan alone, Maria says.
Thanks, guys.
That's where I figured. I know I saw something yesterday with him. I was like, oh God. But anyway, again, I've talked about this before. I'm going to be honest with you. I would love to see Bronson and Braun with Paul Heyman, and you could throw Brock in there. You could throw another Paul Heyman guy. I don't care. But with Paul Heyman being the lead, not being the backup. Somebody said this. I don't know who said it, but I read it. But they were bringing up. I don't know if it was Biggie on a pre-show or whatever. But Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, their group is or them being together is more of convenience than it is necessary. Like Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, their relationship. The Advocate, Roman Reigns, he's the wise man. Those relationships. CM Punk, best friend, whatever, them. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman have never been intertwined in any sort of way. This is more of like, hey, I'm rolling with you. We're going to win. We're going to do this. Like, this could break at any time. That's why, for me, again, I don't really feel their relationship. I don't feel them when they're together. You know what I mean? Like I did Paul and Roman. You knew that was a relationship. CM Punk and Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. When you hear, my name, ladies and gentlemen, you're like, whoa, it's those two. They don't have to have a story to be together for one night. Same thing with CM Punk and Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, it's like, I don't know if I believe it. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, I do. And I think I would love to see kind of like Bobby Heenan back in the day, like he had Andre the Giant, but it was his family. There was the Bobby Heenan family with all the villains. I think Paul Heyman should be that. I love when Paul Heyman said, you guys are not going out there. He needs to do this on his own. What happens if he loses? You know what's going to happen. Like, I love that. That show, like, man, Paul Heyman should have power. And it's like, oh, but who we could kick your ass. Who you got? And all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar shows up. Yeah, you're not getting past Brock. So, Brock being involved in this story is the right call when it comes down to it. We talked about this a little before. We kind of gone back and forth. It looks like that's where it's going. It's interesting, the name we talked about him earlier, since we're going a little bit dirt sheet, and we'll get to the comments. We talked about Austin Theory earlier. That's a name that's been brought up as another name possibly being thrown into division. I'm very intrigued if that does go down, where that goes from there. Because that might be a big boost for Austin Theory to be paired with a Paul Heyman and those guys and a Seth. I don't want to see him with Grayson Waller again. But yeah. Did you hear about that at all or read up on that?
No. I'm just trying to think about it and go, man, I just prefer Ethan Page or anyone else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But sell me on this guy. Let's see it. Let's see if he can get it right. Let's see if they can book him well. He's got all the tools.
He has all everything. The tools. He has the resume, beat John Cena. I mean, he has a resume, but maybe he just needs the right pairing. I mean, if you put him in a Paul Heyman could probably get him going. So, I mean, we'll see. Kevin says Crown Jewel was better than WrestlePalooza. We both agree on that because we said it earlier. So, and Kevin, shout out for tuning in. We appreciate everybody watching right now. We appreciate everybody tuning in wherever you're watching from. Watching No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast here on FTSN with Josh Kimmel and Bobby Melendez. Known also as Bobby Finstar. That's why you see the name there. Usually I change it, but I don't, so I forget. So my bad. But Drew should win the WWE Championship. That's what Maria says. We'll see how that goes. I agree. I think Drew should. I would like to see that go down. We'll see where it goes. But I think Drew McIntyre is a champion. I mean, I'm at that point now. It's like, hey, we're owed that, and I would like to see Cody drop it. Yeah, he needs it. It's like, come on. I know they teased Jacob Fatu. Jacob said he's coming for the title. He's going to be Jacob versus Drew McIntyre. I don't know if I'm there yet. Jacob has fallen off a little bit with me, so I'm not very interested in seeing him be the champion. I think you need to build him up again, whether, have a series of good matches, get in a good story, an underdog story, whatever. Again, I'm going to straight up say it. I'm more interested because of his story. And again, I know what he can do in the ring. I know his resume. I know that I'm more interested in Solo Sikoa being a WWE champion than I am in Jacob Fatu. Just the truth. It's just what it is. So it's just what it is right now. Not saying that can't be the case later, just where I am. Time for Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker to win tag team titles because Finn Balor, JD, absolutely. I would love to see those two guys win, and I think it would mean more as long as they book it right. But they will because it's they're tagged with Paul. Let's see here. Brock Lesnar joins Division War Games. Maria says that. Yep. So everybody's pretty much agreeing. I believe in Seth and Punk. I believed in Seth and Punk back in the day. I believe you, Maria. I do believe you that you did. You are the believer in the little man. I believe you. No, I agree. It's okay. But anyway. But on what Kevin asked earlier, while we were going on a little bit of rant there, where would you rank every match? Like if you had to give them stars. So play your Temu version of Dave Meltzer. And where would you rank these matches if you had to give 5-star or like a 5-star?
I have to do 5 stars, or can I rank them 1 through 5? Can I just rank them 1 through 5? 5
Yeah,
stars?
yeah. 1 through 5. That's what I meant.
1 through 5. Okay, so the best match of the day of the morning was Cena, AJ Styles. Best match of the day. Obviously had the motion, the moves, the action, everything you want. Number 2, Stephanie and Tiffany. I would say this is the second most entertaining match. I would think is the second most. I think that. Then I go Seth and Cody, third. Then I go Roman. And then I have, I guess, NA, or 5th place would be the women's tag match. NA. Okay. Not applicable. So how about
you? Didn't see it.
Are you surprised I have Roman so low? Anytime they do
I don't.
insert city street fight, I get why they do it, or insert country street fight. Like, it's a gimmick to me, and it's just uninteresting. I don't know.
No, I don't disagree with you. I don't think it was a bad match. Again, I was entertained by the match. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I want to see this, oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about the John Cena AJ Styles match for a while, right? Just like we're like the Cody versus John Cena match at SummerSlam. We're going to talk about that one for a while. Logan Paul, John Cena was entertaining, but those two, like John Cena, AJ Styles, we're going to talk about that for a while. That's a match that leaves you like going, I'm going to watch that match again. That was that moment again. All the moments, the Walls of Jericho, the tributes to Samoa Joe, Sting, Jericho, the Miz, everything. It was just, that's a match. The Roman versus Bronson Reed was fun. It was entertaining, but it wasn't a barn burner, as the great Jim Ross would say. So I'm not surprised. Justin says AJ Cena number 1, Seth Cody number 2, ladies tag match number 3, Bronson number 4, Tiffy and Stephanie number 5. Maria says Jacob Fatu needs to win a few more matches against contenders. Yes, with comparable stories. We need to believe in him. Winning matches is not and I think that's where you're going, Maria. So I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth. A slobber knocker. Yeah. This is the good old Jim Ross. And now it's a slobber knocker. And we used to do the voiceovers in our backyard wrestling. My brother Nick would do the voiceover, and when I had the camera, I would do the voiceover. Here I am here, AEWF or WEW, whatever we were. We would switch the name up. Oh my gosh, he threw him off. We do the whole voiceover. So Finn Sammy in Florida, ready for fan club weekend, Dolphins versus the Chargers. So hopefully you have an amazing time, and hopefully you're having a great time in Florida right now, Sammy, my brother. We'll miss you tomorrow on the pregame show. But yeah, man, I'm glad you're tuning in from X. But Jacob Fatu definitely needs to win a few more matches, but good matches, obviously, against real people, good people, but also has some stories that make you want him to be the champion. We know how talented he is, but you have to want him to go, damn, dude, man, that was a great story. I want to see him hold the belt. I can see him holding the belt. I can see him be. And let me ask you, would you want to see him as a face champion or a heel champion?
Tweener. He's not. He should never be heel or face. He should never be heel or never be. He should never cater to the fans, but he should never be a good guy. He needs to be Jacob Fatu. Yeah, and it's hard because let me tell you something. In this age, and we all know this. It's hard to be a baby face. It's so easy. Someone asked me at work, hey, what makes John Cena the GOAT to you? Because I said something like John Cena is probably the best wrestler that I've ever seen. Because we were talking about actually NFL players. It's like we don't know what we got until it's gone, and that's why it's important for me to watch like all these matches for guys I like now, because when they're gone, we're gonna miss them. And I said, John Cena's in that era where I missed him. I did not cheer for him when he was in his prime because I thought it was cool to boo him.
Mm-hmm.
And now when he's back, he's like, well, what made him the greatest of all time, in your opinion? And here's why. This is going off on a different route. It's so easy to be the bad guy. Stone Cold was bad, but we cheered him. The Rock was bad, but we cheered. Look at Roman. He's bad, but we cheer. It's so cool. John Cena had to do it in an era, in the PG era, where he had to be smiley, Fruity Pebbles, hustle oils. He did it in the hardest era. He held the company up in the hardest era to do it as a babyface. They tried to do it with Roman. He got dog food literally thrown on him. Now you can be the edgy guy and be a babyface and be mega over. That's what they need to do with Jacob Fatu. Make him the edgy babyface, but still breaks the rules. The cool guy. That's what they need to do. And he shouldn't worry about titles. He's a Jacob Fatu. He's a beast. He's a destroyer. I wish they used him that way instead of this, oh, I'm going to beat you up, Solo, because I'm a babyface now. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I didn't like the way they did that. I mean, we knew it was going there, but I didn't like the way they did it, and I don't like how it wrapped. Nick Foss, definitely not his wrestling that makes him the GOAT. Talk about John Cena. Again, I will say, it's very popular for people to say to John Cena, you can't wrestle. But when you put John Cena against AJ Styles, when you put John Cena against Logan Paul, when you put John Cena against, guys that could, like RVD, John Cena steps up. Again, you don't have to be the greatest wrestler to be the greatest in the ring. You don't have to be, again, Hulk Hogan. People say, oh, Hogan couldn't he couldn't wrestle. He couldn't do what Bret Hart did. Well, Hogan was like John Cena was the top of the business. He didn't have to do that. He protected himself. He didn't have to do all those crazy moves. He just had to sell the crowd. John Cena knows how to work the crowd. He does it unbelievable well. He doesn't have to have a 5-star match to be the GOAT. But when it's time, when you're going against someone who is way better, Shawn Michaels, AJ, RVD, Edge, whatever, then that's when CM Punk, Logan Paul, then you see, well, whoa, wait a second. I didn't know he could do that. Oh, wait a second. I didn't know he can. He's a student of the game, Go ahead.
Next match, he's busting out a 5-star frog splash. RVD, I forgot. He didn't do his move yet.
He hasn't done it yet.
Oh, watch,
I don't think he'll do the roll. I don't think he'll do the roll into the corner.
Oh, rolling thunder? No, he's going to do a 5-star frog splash and Dominic. Watch. Guarantee it. Put it in the books. But hey, I got kids out here waiting for me to play Fortnite with them. By the way, the awesome update. Halloween 101 of what's it? What do they call holidays for games? Video games. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the holidays. Excited for football. Excited for the finally. I can go outside today, guys, and not sweat for the first time since forever. So I'm glad
it's nice out right now.
It's really nice outside. So I want to go enjoy the day with my family outside. I hope you guys do too. Bobby, I hope you enjoy your day off. You don't have your Dolphins show today. By the way, I was watching your show about firing McDaniels. I agree. He's on his way out. Sad walk down that tunnel, man.
Sad, dude, don't get me started. I was so pissed on that. Oh, there you go. Nick says Shawn Michaels is the true GOAT.
He is.
I think there's a thing there. See, so there's the GOAT in the ring, and then there's GOAT in general. Like when people say, "Oh, Ric Flair's the greatest of all time," in the ring, and I mean that's if Ric Flair said that, when you go see, I'm the, I would say I'm the greatest of all time in the ring as a wrestler. The greatest professional wrestler, entertainer, he would say it was Hogan. So Shawn Michaels in the ring, nobody could touch him, but Shawn Michaels could talk, he could walk, he could do it all. Mr. WrestleMania. Okay, I know. He's doing a lot of AI stuff right now, so he sent me the link. He's telling me to throw my face on there. But Stone Cold is the GOAT. Maybe we'll have that debate. Maybe we'll do a show about that. Who's the GOAT of wrestling? That would be a long show, but
it would be a very, very debate show. But circle back to football.
Yes,
I just want to make this one comparison. Just like in football, they say Tom Brady's the GOAT, but he doesn't hold a candle to what Dan Marino could do on the field.
100%.
So there's a difference between the GOAT of the quarterbacks or the real GOAT, the technicians, the guy who performs the best. We can sit here and say Chad Gable is the GOAT because he can do everything. Kurt Angle.
I would argue Kurt Angle. I would say, I think I said that to you the other day. Kurt Angle would be probably in the ring. Well, again, Kurt Angle could do it all, though. He could entertain you. He has the mic skills. He had the ring skills. But again, his career was so minuscule. if you really think about it, especially in WWE, he went to TNA, had his best. Go watch Kurt Angle TNA, and you'll see an amazing work. But Kurt Angle's career was that so. But Kurt Angle could do it all. He could do it all. Kurt Angle was up there. But that's such a great point. You're right. Like we look and we go, man, Tom Brady was the GOAT because of all the rings. But then you look at Dan Marino, and you're like, damn. John Elliott said it. Peyton Manning said it. Steve Young said it. They all said, Pat Mahomes, man, go watch Dan Marino. So, yes, I agree. That's a great comparison compared, because it's true, because people will say, man, Bret Hart, and you say, well, Bret Hart was a good micer, but it's like, look at his in-ring skills. So there's two different things. Who's the GOAT of kissing McMahon's booty the most? Okay.
Johnny Ace.
But Johnny, yeah, there you go. Yeah. In regards of Dolphins, I'll ask you this very quick, because McDaniel looks like he's on the out. So I got two questions for you. We're gonna break away for a second because I know you're a Dolphins fan, but you're also fantasy football. And shout out to Fantasy Now Plus, who continue to kill it. You guys are killing it and all that whatnot. But do the Dolphins first. Do the Dolphins beat the Chargers tomorrow? And
no.
Okay, so there you go for that one. And if the Dolphins do fire McDaniel, which route would you like Miami to go? Would you want an experienced coach, a former head coach, or is there a coordinator you're like, man, I'd like to see him go this route? Is there a specific coordinator?
That's so tough, man. Honestly, I would like to see them go down the road of blow everything up. Don't go out there and get a Belichick because he's obviously washed, doesn't know, right? But I want a veteran head coach. I want a professional head coach that knows what he's doing. I'm so sick of this. And maybe it's because we've lived in McDaniel's life for so long now, it feels like. The cool, fancy guy. I got the playbook. I'm wearing my leggings. No, I want a professional football coach. I don't want a Madden player. And no disrespect to McDaniel's. He's a smart guy. I get it. But I want a professional coach. I don't want the Madden players. I'm done with it, man. Like, I'm done.
I'm with you. I'm done with rookie coaches when it comes to Miami. I want a veteran coach. I don't care what happened at his last job. I'm willing to listen on any coach. That's where I'm at. I'm with you though. I don't want Belichick. If you're talking about a front office role, maybe, but not as a head coach. I know a lot of people right now, Rex Ryan and John Gruden. I'm very iffy about that. The one, I know people brought up Mike McCarthy. I'm okay to listen on that. I'm down with that. The one name that I've brought up, of course, Doug Peterson is another guy, former Dolphin, former quarterback. A former player if you're going to do a rookie coach, get a former player. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm interested in any former player. I don't want no, capris all the way pulled up, and walking in the tunnel crying, and you're like, come on, dude, you're a grown man. But Ron Rivera is another guy. I know he's the GM of UCLA. A name that I brought up, Josh, who was a coach a long time ago. It didn't work out, but he's been a coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs for a long time, and I think he's way overdue in consideration to Steve Spagnuolo. That's a guy that I'm intrigued by, that I think should get another shot. But we'll see, man. I mean, I'm with you. I don't think I don't have the Dolphins winning tomorrow. I just don't trust them anymore. I really don't. But anyway, this was an awesome show. Maria says Walter Payton or Lawrence Taylor were the GOATs in the NFL. Lawrence Taylor was disgustingly great at what he did. 85 Bears would have killed every version of Tom Brady's Patriots team, but they didn't beat the Dolphins. How about primetime as Dolphins coach? Just like Belichick, I wouldn't want the drama. Or not the drama. I don't want to say the drama, but just the extra stuff. Now, again, if primetime probably would trade for Shador, and that would be the quarterback, and we know that would probably be the case. He does fit the criteria. Former player. He's done really well in the two teams that he's coached in college. I don't know what it would be in the as a pro, but I think he might need to retire. I know he has a lot of health conditions. And because I was reading him up, and I'm like, man, this guy just needs to step off. I don't want to bring him up, but whatever. Vince TV says no. No.
Here's what I wish, because I live in the Tampa Bay area. I do follow the Buccaneers because it's so hard not to here. I wish they would have got rid of McDaniels last year and got Liam Cohen. I believe he's going to turn around that franchise in Jacksonville, despite the cons and their involvement. I do believe that Liam Cohen is going to be a very good head coach. And I think if he could turn around Trevor Lawrence, he could have done it with Tua. And I wish they would have done that.
But do you think
what he did with Baker.
So okay, that is absolutely fair, and we know everybody makes fun of Duval, but you look at the early returns, and you're like, damn, look what they're doing in Jacksonville. Is it Jackson? Is it Kansas City falling off, or was it Jacksonville? Jacksonville is looking really good right now. But this is my thing to retort towards you, and you see, we could talk anything. We could talk wrestling, we could talk football, we could talk movies, video games, we could talk Ghost. Eventually that will come down the line.
Yes.
But I just want to say, see, Cohen, first off, you got to give him the credit. And you said you saw him in Tampa Bay and you've been watching him, and you're right, man. Look what he's done with Baker Mayfield, and look what Baker Mayfield, shout out to Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jacksonville. But do you think to me, I feel a little iffy with it, just because it reminds me a little of McDaniel. They started really red hot. Do they eventually fall off? Does his stick eventually end quicker than this? Kind of like McDaniel. McDaniel was hot. McDaniel was, the team was running and everybody's, he's the coolest coach. He's making jokes. Now he tries to make jokes and nobody's laughing. Does that happen with Cohen? Not that Cohen is exactly like that, but that's my only concern with Cohen. But I think what he's doing there is awesome. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens, dude. I'm intrigued. I'm with you. I'm with a veteran coach.
Like I would have preferred Vrabel, man. Like that's
that was my guy. I wanted to fire McDaniel last year and go after Vrabel. Mike Vrabel was the former player, successful on the Titans, a former coach. That would have changed everything for the Dolphins. I really, truly believe that. So that's why,
me off.
Go ahead.
This isn't even a podcast. This is conversation now. It pisses me off that Vrabel's now the coach of the Patriots.
I know.
Buffalo's window has been shut in my eyes for the past couple of years. I never think they're going to win a championship. As long as Patrick Mahomes lives in the AFC, Josh Allen and the Bills the window is shut. I've been saying that for a while. But now, and I'm like, oh, cool, a path to get up there. But now New England, everyone finally vanquishes them. They lose everybody. Now they get a coach, they get a quarterback, they have a good offensive fit, they got good young chemistry there. And I am so upset. Like, come on, we just got rid of this. My whole 20s was this. Now we got to deal with the Patriots being great again. Like, they're the team in the AFC. I'm sorry, guys. The Bills are falling down. And Drake May I'm so over it. I thought we got rid of them. They're back. Vrabel is the guy, man.
You heard it here first from Josh Kimmel. Patriots are back. Damn. I'm not sleeping on New England whatsoever. Drake May, I think just the right situation. Again, he's freaking Robert Kraft. It reminds me of that little meme with the Breaking Bad. I'm forgetting the character's name. Oh my goodness. When he goes, you can't keep getting away with this. It's like he just keeps getting away with it, but it is what it is. But I'm with you. Miami definitely needs to make a change. And again, I'm with the veteran head coach. The glory years are over. Yeah, they may be over. But again, they're on the ups. I get it. But anyway, see, Josh and I could do 1,000 shows. I really do think we could talk anything and everything. We have before.
My audition for Finn's Talk today, bro. This is my audition.
That's right. I got it,
coach.
I got it. Right, I got a co-host for one of my shows. There you go. For one of my episodes, I'll get Josh in there. I'm sure we'll have fun.
You the real, like, I'm like the disgruntled fan. Like, I'm not the analytics guy. I don't know all the offensive linemen. I don't know but I can tell you what, I can see trends, and I can be upset. So is that what you guys do? Just yell about the Dolphins all day? I can imagine Finn Stanza just yelling about the Dolphins all day.
Oh, yeah, dude. Post game is that's exactly what it is. But actually, I had an episode of Finn Talk today during the week because I knew we weren't going to do one today, and I went on a rant because of everything, and we were like, whoa, and they said, Positive Bobby will be back on tomorrow, Sunday. So yeah, maybe off the topic. The Heat needs to try to go get the Greek Freak. Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, though, I feel better about the Heat than I do about the Dolphins. The Miami Heat look really good. Those young guys look really good. And how about them Panthers? I know Josh don't want to hear any of that, but Florida Panthers 2-0, man. I mean, we lose Barkov and all of it. Here comes two other guys. They're showing up, and I love it. You got, is there hockey today for you? The Lightning?
To be honest, I'm disconnecting. My phone's going to stay here, and me and my son, we're playing Fortnite.
A great day with the kids.
We're just going to eat candy, eat pizza, order pizza, and play Fortnite. That's what I'm doing the rest of the day.
I'm at the mow the lawn down. It's like, that's what I'm trying to avoid.
I got my peoples to do that down here.
Show going. I don't want to do chores. Can we just keep going? It's like, what did Michael Jordan say? F them kids. I'm just like, No, hey guys, listen, I appreciate all you for tuning in. It was a great crown jewel event. WWE, thank you. Finally, WrestlePalooza was a joke. This is totally made up for it. 4.5 maybe star show. I mean, there was some hiccups there, but it was great. Thank you. Great little sports Dolphins talk at the end of there. Appreciate that. Justin, Maria, Kevin, Nick, Sammy, Fins TV, everyone who tuned in. We appreciate you. Arturo, thank you. Like and subscribe. And hey, have a great Saturday. We'll see you next week.